This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV for Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. Please take a moment if you're watching on YouTube to subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and then I'll tell you how to guarantee we don't get canceled ever again before the end of the program. Topic number 5 today, Disease X. World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland this week. One of the things they plan to discuss in between all of the partying is a future unknown disease X that the World Health Organization predicts could kill as many as 20 times more people than the recent coronavirus outbreak. Now, this name sounds like something from a science fiction or horror film, but the prospect of disease X has been on the radar of the World Health Organization and other globalist health bureaucrats since it deemed this pathogen a possibility, a research priority back in 2017. WHO prioritizes research into disease X alongside things like COVID-19, Ebola, SARS, MERS, Zika, and others. WHO has warned several times since the coronavirus outbreak that a future pandemic could be just around the corner. Now, Sharon has been watching for something like this pretty much since I've known her. I mean, back in the early 2000s, she wrote a novel called The Armageddon Strain based on the possibility of a pathogen escaping from a laboratory. Yeah, that novel suddenly became a lot more relevant in 2020. Anyway, the WEF and World Health Organization are working on this, and it is to that end that they are working to convince us that we need more control over information being shared on the internet. Dis, and malinformation. In fact, the World Economic Forum has declared that misinformation is the greatest threat facing humanity in 2024. Why? Because thanks to some very brave souls who were willing to get themselves canceled back in 2020 and 2021, not enough of us gave in to the demands for the globalists to take over our lives completely during the last pandemic. So they're going to give it another run. Just watch for this. Topic number 4, wars and rumors thereof. Yes, while the war in Gaza continues, as Yemen continues to try to turn it into a regional conflict, Turkey conducted a series of airstrikes over the weekend, Sunday evening, targeting 24 Kurdish sites in northern Iraq and Syria. According to the Defense Ministry of Turkey's announcement on X, the strikes began at 10 p.m. local time, carried out in northern Syria and northern Iraq, neutralizing what they said were hostile fighters. The statement highlights the destruction of various strategic targets, caves, shelters, bunkers, depots, natural gas production facilities. This comes in the wake of a clash between Kurdish fighters of the PKK, a paramilitary unit, and the Turkish military, in which 9 Turkish soldiers were killed. Turkey's also launched interventions in Syria against the People's Defense Units. This is the YPG, another element within the Kurdish community in northern Syria and northern Iraq. The YPG comprises part of the Syrian Defense Forces, allied with the United States, but considered terrorists by the Turkish government. Topic number 3, paying protesters. What we've suspected for months now is now confirmed. Many of the protesters hitting the streets in support of Hamas are in fact being paid to be there. The Toronto Sun reporting on Monday that a Victoria, British Columbia organization has been distributing thousands of dollars to anti-Israel protesters. The group calls itself the Plenty Collective, created a solidarity fund for people in the Victoria, BC region to pay for costs related to supporting organizing actions in solidarity with Palestine and the Palestinian people, end quote. Now, just as an aside, both Palestine and Palestinian people are simply marketing titles applied to the Arabs who lived in the region, now part of Israel. They weren't called Palestinians until the 1960s when they realized it was easier to sell the idea. There is no such ethnicity as Palestinian, in other words, and the region, there never was an independent state called Palestine, not ever. So anyway, said the Plenty Collective, quote, "This fund is to help cover costs incurred when organizing or participating in local actions. This can include, but is not limited to, the cost of lost wages, supplies, items for fundraising, and paying speakers, etc., end quote." So again, when people are out on the streets, they're not working. But This is not just happening in Victoria, British Columbia. It's happening here in the U.S. as well, as multimillionaire tech mogul Neville Roy Singham has been bankrolling pro-Palestinian protesters since last year. Some of this funding has been right out in the open on Craigslist. A now deleted ad from November read, "We're looking for 5 to 7 actors or activists to hold panels and distribute flyers in front of a venue as a peaceful legal protest. Needed for November 24th, evening 2 to 3 hours, paying $30 an hour," end quote. That was the same day, by the way, as the shutdown protests for Hamas. 34 people arrested trying to disrupt the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade in New York. Topic number 2, the migrant crisis moves north. As the mass invasion, and that's what it is, the invasion moves north. Democrat politicians in northern cities like New York, Chicago, Denver are protesting, demanding the federal government step in, give them more money, do something. They also seem to be suffering a convenient case of amnesia. Democrat politicians at the local and state levels have forgotten that they invited this invasion by declaring their cities sanctuary cities, refusing to cooperate with immigrations and customs enforcement, sending people back across the border who aren't supposed to be here. Not only that, they seem to have forgotten that they incentivized illegal migration by offering subsidies and welfare handouts to people who entered the country illegally. There's only one group of people that's been fighting to keep the borders open, and that is the political left here in the United States. But now we're entering an election year, and they're seeing pushback from their constituents. So they're trying to rewrite history. They're trying to gaslight us. No, what we're seeing isn't what we're seeing. Who are you going to believe, us or your lying eyes? They're saying the good guys are those who've invited the people in. It's Republicans and conservatives who are preventing the Democrats from securing the border. Remember, on Monday, I told you that the Biden administration is suing the state of Texas to get Texas to stand down, stop putting razor wire along your border, let Customs and Border Protection get back into that park in Eagle Pass to welcome the people who cross the Rio Grande illegally, process them and release them into the country instead of turning them back. Well, the problem for Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who was on national talk shows over the weekend, begging for help and then claiming that it was Republicans responsible for the problem, is that the problem is now for them, their constituents are recognizing that they are responsible for creating this mess. So how do they deflect blame while at the same time not appearing to be, racist? Coming up, Sweethearts for the 21st, those little candies that you used to give out in school on Valentine's Day? They've been updated for the 21st century. I'll explain next on 5 and 10.
Jonathan Cahn is back with his most explosive book ever, The Josiah Manifesto. This stunning book exposes whether or not a 3,000-year-old calendar of appointed days provides the secret to the most dynamic year of our lives, even ordaining a plague, a national lockdown, days of fire, and the changing of the Supreme Court. Secret information regarding an anonymous prayer and a mysterious template that may lie behind the event that overtook Capitol Hill and shook the nation. And the mysterious ancient king that may have revealed the secret behind a modern American president, and so much more. Also included in this must-have collection, The Gods of the Bible Unveiled on DVD, where Derek Gilbert systematically breaks down how to understand what the gods in the Bible are and what their place in Christianity actually is. In this instructional guide, you'll be taken step by step through why God calls his sons gods in the Psalms, how the fall in Genesis was only one of 3 divine rebellions, and how the Greek gods and titans found their origin in our Bibles. But that's not all. In this amazing offer, you'll also receive the Jonathan Cahn Collection, featuring 3 uncut, extended, and too hot for TV episodes on the return of the gods that will leave you speechless. This DVD also includes 3 additional episodes of Jonathan's best interviews with the Skywatch TV investigative team. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $75. Yours now for your donation of only $35 plus shipping and handling. But Right now, you can upgrade your master collection to include the absolutely astonishing Josiah Manifesto Uncensored 8-DVD album featuring hours of additional totally uncensored raw materials and mysteries that are not included in the book or anywhere else but right here, including the Island of Mystery, the Winds of Hinnom, Jehu and the Temple of Baal, the Jubilee and Redemption and the Child of the Nile, and the Manifesto Part 1 and 2 and the very last mystery. This special upgrade includes all of the items from the Josiah Manifesto Master Collection and the exclusive uncensored 8-DVD album, which altogether holds a retail value of $200. Yours now for your donation of only $74.99 plus shipping and handling. So be prepared to understand the end times like never before as you dive into the Josiah Manifesto Master Collection or the Master Collection with upgrade uncensored 8-DVD album. So order now at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Josiah Manifesto Master Collection.
Item number 1 today, Sweethearts for the 21st century. The maker of the traditional Valentine's Day candies, you know, those little pink sugar hearts with a little vaguely romantic message printed on them. They've been updated with a new line intended for those who are in complicated relationships, or as they're titled on the box, situationships. Yes, my situation is complicated. Thankfully, mine is not, but you may, appreciate and understand what's meant by that. This box of candy intended for those in situationships will be misprinted, blurry, or illegible. Sort of a vague, let the recipient read into the heart what they want to see, I guess. The tagline in the situationship box reads, "Messages as blurry as your relationship." Now, if you remember those candies, if you've ever bought them, you know that like on 3/4 of them, you can't really read the messages anyway. So this strikes me as just somebody in marketing, some clever person trying to find a way to market as to salvage those sweethearts that would have been rejected by quality assurance. Sorry, can't read these, toss them out. No, we'll put them into a new line called situationships with intentionally blurry messages. As a marketing gimmick, it's actually pretty brilliant. Sadly, I think a lot of people this season would relate to being in a blurry or situationship, blurry relationship. But just a word of advice, fellas, trust me, I don't think this would be well received. If you're trying to fix something, don't go this route. Just a little passive aggressive. This week on Skywatch TV, we continue our fascinating discussion about the Josiah Manifesto, the latest book from Jonathan Cahn, who has a talent for pattern recognition in the lives of the prophets, the kings, even the villains in the Old Testament, and how they might help us understand and survive the times in which we live. Don't miss these programs. The Josiah Manifesto with Jonathan Cahn. I was honored to sit in as the guest host for Joe Horn on these programs. You can see them right now at skywatchtv.com. Our website always has all of our video content there. You can always catch it at our Roku and Apple TV channels. The broadcast program over the air. If you watch on one of our affiliate networks, you can find our schedule for the over-the-air broadcasts at skywatchtv.com/channels. You can also catch it at YouTube. We've got a new YouTube channel for the main program at Skywatch TV now. Rumble has all of our stuff, rumble.com/SkywatchTV. And better yet, guarantee we never get canceled by getting our free app. The app for your smartphone or tablet will guarantee that all of our content comes straight from our servers to you, bypassing the gatekeepers and offering some additional features. There's a multi-translation audio Bible module in there. We've also now just added streaming video. You can access new streaming video content from Skywatch TV through the app. Look in the bottom right-hand corner there, that little tab there that says stream. Click that, it'll take you to our streaming video website as well. It's a really powerful little app. Kudos to the developers at Subsplash. the company that makes it for us. It's available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets. We've got links to their app stores at our website, skywatchtv.com. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.